We are on to continue our NCAA win total series, and we are continuing in the Big 12. We move across Arizona and head to Arizona State. And Arizona State had become a really good program. You go back to Dirk Cotter showing up in 2001. They went to bowl games in 2002, 4, 5, 6, and he leaves. Dennis Erickson gets him a bowl game in 2007, and then back again in 11. Todd Graham gets them to 5 bowl games. Herm Edwards shows up, 2 bowl games, then 2-2 in 2020, 8-5 in 2021. Las Vegas Bowl loss, but Herm Edwards had some recruiting violations, and he ultimately was fired after a 1-2 start in 2022. They bring in a interim coach, and they end up going 3-9 in 2022. And last year, Ken Dillingham shows up, and it's not perfect. Brand new coach, tons of new players, and they open up with a win against Southern Utah, but then they would lose against Oklahoma State, Fresno State, USC, at Cal, Colorado, at Washington. And finally, on October 28th, got their second win. It was against Washington State. They lose at Utah. They would beat UCLA, and they ended the season with losses to Oregon and Arizona. So Ken Dillingham's first year is a 3-9 record, but Ken Dillingham has a history of winning. It actually starts at Arizona State. He was picked up as an offensive analyst when Mike Norvell was the offensive coordinator there. Followed Norvell to Memphis, helped build that to be a winning program. Spent a year at Auburn, went to Florida State with Norvell, and then in 2022 was at Oregon and helped develop Bo Nix. Then, last year starts at Arizona State. So there's definitely some things to be positive about for Arizona State. One of them right now, though, isn't quarterback. They lost their quarterback, they continually do so. Jaden Daniels was there. He left for LSU. Jaden Rashada is now at Georgia. They bring in Sam Levitt from Michigan State. Good quarterback. Offense can build around him. If he's not the guy, Jeff Sims is a great backup. The backs, they're okay. Cameron Scatbo can do a little bit of everything. DeCarlos Brooks, pretty good carry guy. Backs will be okay. The offensive line needs to be better. They have a good center in Leaf Fanatu. Sean Naa is going to move to where he's needed. They've got some transfers coming in. The receiving core got beat up by the transfer portals, but they have a bunch of young talent that should be solid. On defense, it got destroyed last year. And then it had held Washington to 15 points. It was up and down. It's not all new for their defense. They do bring back Tate Romney and Caleb McCullough. They're pretty good tacklers. They bring in Keyshawn Elliott from New Mexico State in the middle. Really good get there. Prince Deborah and Clayton Smith are pretty good ends. The transfer portal brought in a ton of defensive line depth. At safety, they've got Samari Simons, who is a big playmaker. They also bring in 4 new transfers. Problem is, none of these transfers have a lot of experience with interceptions. They need to create turnovers. 2 main keys are going to be the offensive line and creating turnovers for Arizona State. We look at this schedule. It's an over-under set at 4.5 wins. They open up August 31st at home against Wyoming. September 7th, it's Mississippi State at home, and that's honestly a toss-up. Texas State on the road the 14th, that should be a win. Texas Tech on the road the 21st, probably a loss, and then a bye. This is the tough part of their schedule. It's Kansas and then Utah back-to-back, probably 2 losses there. And then they go to Cincinnati on October 19th. That should be a win. Another bye. Oklahoma State, the 2nd of November, probably a loss. Then home against UCF, probably a win. Kansas State on the road, probably a loss. Home against BYU, probably a win. And then road Arizona, probably a loss. When I look at this schedule, though, I think they're going to start 2-1, if not 3-0. They're going to get Wyoming. They're going to get Texas State. There is a chance they get Mississippi State in there. If they're 3-0, they're definitely hitting 5 wins. Even if they're 2-1 with Cincinnati, UCF, and BYU all on the schedule, those are all very winnable games. I think that gets them to 5, let alone them pulling an upset. The home schedule is very favorable for them getting 2-5 wins, and that's going to be the pick. We're going to take the over 4.5, and it's going at plus 142 on FanDuel. So that's going to be our choice here. If you like this content, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to it, and share it with your friends. We'll be back next time as we move on to Baylor here in the Big 12.